The Bear's Lesson. Chapter 1. The Proud Bear. In a big green forest near tall mountains, many animals lived. One of them was a bear, a very big bear. He thought he was the strongest and biggest animal in the forest. One sunny day, the bear walked through the forest. He felt very proud and strong. As he walked, he said loudly, "I am the mightiest in all the land." His voice was so loud that it made the leaves shake on the trees. Nearby, a little squirrel heard the bear. She felt scared and quickly climbed up a tree. From high in the tree, the squirrel looked down at the bear and thought, "He is so big and loud. I hope he does not come near me." The birds flying above the trees heard the bear too. They flew quickly away to the top of the trees. One bird whispered to another, "Let's stay high up where it's safe." As the bear continued to walk, he saw a small rabbit. The rabbit was looking for food on the ground. The bear smiled and said in his deep voice, "Hello, little rabbit. Do you see how big and strong I am?" The rabbit looked up at the bear. She felt a little afraid, but didn't want to show it. She smiled and said, "Yes, Mr. Bear, you are very big and strong." The bear laughed happily and walked on, feeling even more proud. He thought to himself, "All the animals see how important I am." Chapter 2. The Rabbit's Home. In the quiet part of the forest, under a big old oak tree, a rabbit was busy. She was digging a hole. This was not just any hole. This was going to be her new home. The rabbit had a big reason to make this home. She was going to have babies soon. She wanted a safe place for her babies to live. As she worked, the rabbit thought, "This spot under the oak tree is perfect. It's quiet and hidden. My babies will be safe here." The rabbit worked hard, digging and pushing the dirt with her paws. After a while, she stopped and looked at her work. She was happy. The hole was big and cozy. Just then, a friendly deer walked by and saw the rabbit. The deer said, "Hello, rabbit. What are you doing?" The rabbit looked up and replied, "Hello, dear. I am making a home for my babies. They will come soon." The deer smiled and said, "That's wonderful. This looks like a very nice home." The rabbit felt proud and said, "Thank you, dear. I want everything to be perfect." The deer nodded and walked away, thinking about how hard the rabbit was working. She felt happy for the rabbit. As the sun started to set, the rabbit finished her work. She sat at the entrance of her new home and felt very pleased. She thought, "My babies will be safe and warm here. I have done a good job." The rabbit's heart was full of hope and joy as she imagined her new family in their cozy home. She knew she was ready to be a good mother. Chapter 3. The Arrival of the Kits. One night under the starry sky, the rabbit's new home was filled with tiny sounds. The rabbit had given birth to her babies, called kits. The little kits were small and soft, and they made quiet squeaking noises. The rabbit was very happy and proud. She looked at her babies and thought, "My little kits are here. They are so cute and tiny." As she cuddled her kits to keep them warm, the rabbit said softly, "Welcome, my little ones. I'm your mom, and this is our home." The next morning, the rabbit knew she needed to find food for her kits because they would soon be hungry. She prepared to leave the burrow to search for food. Before leaving, she spoke to her kits. "I will be back soon with yummy food for all of you. Stay safe and warm." Outside, the rabbit hopped quickly through the forest, looking for leaves and vegetables. She met a kind old turtle on her way. The turtle saw that the rabbit looked busy and asked, "Hello, rabbit. Where are you going in such a hurry?" The rabbit stopped and replied, "Good morning, turtle. I'm looking for food for my new kits. They were born last night." The turtle smiled warmly and said, "Congratulations, rabbit. That's wonderful news. Be careful as you look for food." "Thank you, turtle. I will," the rabbit said as she continued her search. After gathering enough food, the rabbit hurried back to her burrow. She was excited to feed her kits and to be with them again. As she approached, she thought, "I hope my little ones are doing well. I can't wait to see them." The rabbit arrived back at her burrow and found her kits safe and sound. She fed them gently, and they ate hungrily. The rabbit felt a deep sense of joy and contentment watching her babies eat. "I will take good care of you," the rabbit whispered to her kits. "Together we will have a happy life here." The rabbit's heart was full of love as she settled down with her kits, feeling grateful for her new family and their safe home. Chapter 4. The Bear's Disruption. One hot afternoon, the bear was feeling very hungry. He walked through the forest looking for something to eat. He didn't pay much attention to where he was going because he was only thinking about food. As he walked, he passed by the big old oak tree where the rabbit's burrow was. The bear didn't see the burrow. He was too busy thinking about his hunger. Suddenly, the ground under his heavy feet started to shake a little. This was because he was so close to the rabbit's home. The bear still did not notice anything. He kept looking for food, dreaming about a big, sweet honeycomb. Inside the burrow, the rabbit felt the shaking. She quickly hugged her kits close to her. She was very scared and thought, "What is happening? Is it an earthquake?" Then she heard the bear's loud voice nearby. "Oh, where is the food? I am so hungry." The rabbit realized it was the bear causing the shaking. She whispered to her kits, "Stay quiet, my little ones. The big bear is outside." Outside, the bear finally found some berries and started eating. As he ate, he moved closer to the rabbit's burrow again. This time, his big paw accidentally hit the side of the oak tree. The burrow shook even more, and some dirt fell inside. The rabbit was very worried. She tried to calm her kits, saying, "It's okay, babies. We'll be safe. Just stay close to me." After eating, the bear felt better, but was still a bit hungry. He decided to look for more food, and finally walked away from the oak tree. Once the bear was gone, the rabbit checked her burrow. Some parts of it were damaged, but it was still okay. She knew she had to fix it to keep her kits safe. The rabbit thought about what to do next. She knew she couldn't let the bear keep walking around carelessly. She decided she needed to talk to the other animals about the bear. That evening, the rabbit told her kits, "I will take care of this, my little ones. We need our home to be safe." She felt determined to make sure the bear learned to be more careful for the safety of her family and all the small animals in the forest. Chapter 5. The Rabbit's Despair and Resolve. After the bear left, the rabbit quickly inspected her burrow. She saw that parts of the entrance had collapsed, and it was not as safe as before. She felt very sad looking at the damage, but knew she had to be strong for her kits. The rabbit cuddled her kits and said softly, "Don't worry, my little ones. I will fix our home." Her kits snuggled close to her, trusting their mother. Later that day, the rabbit decided to seek help. She left her kits sleeping safely and ventured out into the forest. She wanted to talk to the other animals about the bear's carelessness. First, she met the wise old owl who lived in a tall tree. "Owl, I need your help," the rabbit said. "The bear walked by our home and almost destroyed it. He is too careless and does not see us as small animals." The owl looked down at the rabbit with kind eyes and said, "Oh, rabbit, I am sorry to hear this. What do you think we should do?" The rabbit replied, "We need to talk to the bear. He must understand that he cannot just walk around without looking. He might hurt someone." The owl nodded. "You are right, rabbit. Let's call a meeting with the other animals. We will talk about this together." The rabbit felt a little better. She thanked the owl and went to find more animals to come to the meeting. She met the squirrel, the deer, and the fox. She told each of them about what happened and asked them to come to the meeting. They all agreed because they too were worried about the bear. "Thank you, everyone," said the rabbit. "We need to work together." That evening, all the animals gathered near the big rock where the meetings were usually held. The rabbit told everyone about the bear and how he almost destroyed her home. The animals listened and started talking about what they could do. They all agreed that the bear needed to learn to be more careful. Finally, they decided to speak to the bear together. The deer, who was always calm and brave, said, "I will talk to the bear. We will make him understand that he has to be more careful." The rabbit felt grateful and hopeful. She looked around at all the animals who came to help and felt strong with them by her side. "We can make things better," she said to everyone. "Thank you for helping me and my kits." That night, the rabbit returned to her burrow feeling determined and supported. She knew that with the help of her friends, they could teach the bear to be more mindful of others. Chapter 6. Seeking Help. The next morning, the sun rose brightly over the forest, filling it with warm light. The rabbit woke up early, determined to find more help. She kissed her kits goodbye and set out while they were still asleep, snuggled together safely. As the rabbit hopped through the forest, she first met the chipmunk, who was busy collecting acorns. "Hello, Chipmunk. Can you help us? We need to talk to the bear. He almost destroyed my home," the rabbit explained urgently. The chipmunk, pausing his work, nodded quickly. "Of course, Rabbit. We all need to be safe. I will come with you to talk to the bear." Next, the rabbit found the hedgehog, who was foraging under some leaves. She shared her story again, and the hedgehog responded, "This is serious, Rabbit. I don't want any of us to be in danger. Count me in." Feeling encouraged by the support, the rabbit gathered more animals as she made her way through the forest. Each one agreed to help, understanding the importance of their mission. Soon, a small group of animals, including the chipmunk, the hedgehog, a pair of sparrows, and even a wise old frog, followed the rabbit. They all headed towards the river, where the bear was often seen during the mornings. As they approached the river, the rabbit said to her new friends, "Thank you all for coming. Let's find the bear and speak to him kindly. We need him to understand that he must be more careful." At the riverbank, they spotted the bear splashing in the water, trying to catch fish. The deer, who had promised to speak to the bear, stepped forward. "Hello, bear," he called out in a friendly voice. The bear looked up, surprised to see so many animals gathered. "Hello. What brings all of you here?" he asked curiously, his voice booming across the water. The deer approached him calmly and said, "Bear, we need to talk to you. It's important. Yesterday you walked near the rabbit's home without looking, and you almost destroyed it. You must be more careful." The bear's face showed surprise. "Oh, I didn't realize I was causing trouble. I'm sorry about that. How can I be more careful?" The rabbit stepped forward and added, "Please look where you are going, especially near our homes. We are much smaller than you, and we could get hurt." The bear nodded, understanding the problem now. "I see. I will be more careful. I don't want to hurt any of you." The animals felt relieved hearing the bear's promise. The wise old frog, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. "Thank you, bear. Being careful helps all of us live safely and happily." Chapter 7. The Plan in Action. The next morning, the forest was busy with excitement. The animals had agreed on a plan to make sure the bear remembered to be careful. They all gathered at the rabbit's burrow to discuss their roles. The rabbit, feeling responsible and determined, spoke to everyone. "Thank you for helping. Today, we will work together to remind the bear to be careful around our homes." The chipmunk piped up, eager to help. "I will run in front of the bear when he comes near. This will make him look down and notice where he is stepping." The hedgehog added, "And I will roll into a ball near his path. When he sees me, he will remember to watch his steps." The sparrows, fluttering their wings excitedly, said, "We will fly around his head, chirping loudly. This will remind him to be alert and careful." The wise old frog nodded and said, "And I will sit by the riverbank where he drinks water. I will croak loudly as he approaches. My sound will remind him to be mindful of others." The rabbit was pleased with the plan. She said, "This is great. Let's start today. Everyone, go to your place and wait for the bear to come." As the morning went on, The bear eventually strolled towards the river, thinking about catching some fish for his breakfast. As he neared the rabbit's burrow, the chipmunk darted in front of him. The bear stopped abruptly and looked down. "Oops, sorry, Chipmunk. I almost didn't see you there," the bear said, a bit startled. "Please remember to watch your steps, Bear," the chipmunk called back as he scurried away. Next, as the bear continued on his path, he saw something round and spiky in his way. It was the hedgehog, rolled up in a ball. The bear paused and carefully stepped over the hedgehog. "Thank you for being careful," the hedgehog said, uncurling himself. The bear nodded. "I'm learning. Thank you for reminding me." When the bear reached the river, the sparrows began to fly around his head, chirping. The bear looked up and laughed. "I see you, little birds. I will be careful." Lastly, as the bear bent down to drink, he heard the loud croak of the frog. He looked around and saw the frog sitting on a rock. "Hello, frog. I hear you loud and clear. I will be careful around the water and everywhere else," the bear promised. Chapter 8. The Bear's Realization. One sunny morning, the bear walked slowly through the forest. He remembered the lessons from the previous day. He was trying very hard to be careful. He looked down at the ground and watched where he placed his big paws. As he walked, he thought to himself, "I must be careful not to hurt any of my small friends. They are important too." While walking near the river, the bear noticed the rabbit sitting outside her burrow. He stopped and spoke to her gently. "Hello, Rabbit. I am being careful today. I remember what you all taught me." The rabbit smiled at him and said, "Thank you, Bear. We all appreciate it. It makes everyone feel safer." Just then, the deer came by. He saw the bear talking to the rabbit and joined them. "Good morning, Bear. It's nice to see you being so considerate," the deer said. The bear nodded and replied, "Yes, I learned a lot from all of you. I do not want to be the reason anyone is scared or hurt." As they were talking, the wise old owl flew down from a tree and landed nearby. "Bear, it is good to see you learning and changing your ways. Being aware of others is very important," the owl said with a wise nod. The bear looked around at his friends and felt a warm feeling inside. "I am glad to have friends like you. I will continue to be careful every day," he promised. Then, the hedgehog arrived, rolling slowly towards the group. "Hello, everyone. Bear. We saw you being careful. We are all very happy and feel much safer," he said as he unrolled himself. The bear bent down a little to look at the hedgehog and replied, "Thank you, hedgehog. I will always watch where I am going." Later that day, the bear helped the rabbit fix a part of her burrow that was still a bit damaged. He was very gentle and made sure not to disturb anything else. "Thank you for your help, Bear," said the rabbit gratefully. "You're welcome, Rabbit. Helping is nice. It makes me feel good," the bear responded with a smile. From that day on, the bear became a better friend to all the animals in the forest. He always remembered to be careful and considerate, making the forest a happier place for everyone. The animals lived together in peace, knowing they could trust the bear to be kind and watchful. Chapter 9. The Intervention. One afternoon, the bear decided to do something special to show all his friends in the forest that he truly cared about being careful. He thought about how he could help everyone and make the forest a safer place for all the small animals. The bear went to the rabbit first, as her home was close to where he usually walked. He found her outside her burrow, watching her kits play. "Hello, Rabbit. I have an idea. I want to make the paths around your burrow clearer so I and others don't accidentally step too close. What do you think?" the bear suggested with a gentle voice. The rabbit looked up, surprised and pleased. "Oh, Bear, that would be wonderful. Thank you for thinking of us," she replied with a smile. Together, they cleared away sticks and stones, making a wide, clear path around the rabbit's burrow. The rabbit's kits watched curiously and happily from a safe distance. Next, the bear visited the hedgehog. He found him in a cluster of bushes. Hedgehog, I'm helping our friends by making the areas around their homes safer. Can I clear some space around your bushes too? The bear asked, eager to help. The hedgehog peeked out from under a bush and smiled. Yes, please, bear. That would help me feel much safer when I roll around here, he said gratefully. As the bear worked, the sparrows flew down to him. Bear, can you help make the tree bases clearer? It will be safer for us birds, too, one sparrow chirped. Of course, little birds. I'll be careful with your trees, the bear promised. He gently cleared the areas under the trees where the birds like to gather, making sure not to disturb any nests. After a while, the wise old owl watched from his tree and hooted softly. Well done, bear. You are really making a difference. Feeling proud and happy, the bear replied, Thank you, owl. I want to be a good friend to everyone. By the end of the day, the bear had helped many animals. He was tired but felt very happy. He had made the forest a better place for his friends. The deer, seeing all the good work the bear had done, came over and said, Bear, you have done so much today. You've shown us all how kind and thoughtful you can be. The bear smiled, his heart full of joy. I'm glad I can help. It feels good to take care of my friends. That evening, all the animals gathered to thank the bear. They celebrated with a small feast of berries and nuts. They all cheered for the bear, feeling grateful and safe. Thank you, bear, they all said. You're our hero. From that day forward, the bear was not just the biggest animal in the forest, but also one of the most loved and respected. Everyone knew they could count on him to be considerate and helpful. Chapter 10. Redemption and Reconciliation. The next morning, the sun shone brightly over the peaceful forest. All the animals felt safer and happier because of the bear's hard work and kindness. The bear woke up early, feeling good about the changes he had made. He decided to visit the rabbit again to see how she and her kits were doing with the new path around their burrow. As he approached, he heard the sounds of the rabbit's kits playing happily. The rabbit saw the bear coming and greeted him with a warm smile. Good morning, bear. Look at my kits playing safely. Thanks to you, I don't worry as much when they're outside. The bear chuckled softly, watching the kits. I'm glad to hear that, rabbit. It makes me happy to see them so joyful and safe. Just then, the deer joined them, his antlers gleaming in the morning light. Morning, bear. The forest feels different today, more like a real community. We all appreciate what you've done, the deer said, patting the bear's shoulder with a hoof. The bear nodded, feeling a sense of pride. Thank you, dear. I've learned that being careful and thoughtful is important for all of us. The wise old owl flew down from his tree, landing gracefully near them. Bear, you have shown great change. You've turned from being just strong and big to being a true leader who cares. We are all thankful, the owl said, his voice full of wisdom. Hearing this, the bear felt a deep satisfaction. I just want to be a good friend and neighbor. I will continue to do my best, he promised. Then, the hedgehog waddled over, his spines twinkling with dew. Bear, because of your help, I can roll around without worry. You've made a big difference, he said with a grateful grin. The sparrows fluttered above, chirping in agreement. Yes, bear, our trees are safer, and our chicks can grow up without fear, one sparrow called down. The bear looked around at all his friends and felt a warmth in his heart that was new to him. He realized that being part of a community was not just about living together, but caring for each other. Let's all promise to keep our forest safe and happy for everyone, the bear suggested. Yes, let's promise, they all agreed. From that day on, the bear was not just a big creature in the forest, he was a big friend to everyone. The animals lived together in harmony, looking out for one another. They had picnics, played games, and shared stories. The forest was full of laughter and joy because they had learned the importance of empathy, kindness, and community. Whenever new animals came to the forest, they were welcomed with open paws and hearts, all because one bear learned to change for the better and brought everyone closer together. The end. The story can be evaluated as corresponding to the B1 level of the Common European Framework of Reference for Languages, CEFR. Here's a breakdown of why, along with specific examples from the text. 1. Vocabulary and expressions. B1 level. The vocabulary used in the story is moderately challenging, fitting the B1 level, which requires learners to understand and use everyday language and common idiomatic expressions. For example, common idiomatic expressions, phrases like gathered at the rabbit's burrow to discuss their roles, and the bear chuckled softly, use expressions and verbs that are a bit more descriptive and specific than those found at A1 or A2 levels. Descriptive language. The text uses adjectives and adverbs to provide more detailed descriptions, such as sparrows fluttered above and his heart full of joy, which enrich the narrative without being overly complex. 2. Sentence structure, B1 level. The sentence structures in the story are mostly simple and compound, with occasional complex sentences. This aligns with B1, where learners can handle straightforward and some less familiar situations. Examples include simple and compound sentences. The rabbit saw the bear coming and greeted him with a warm smile. This sentence is straightforward and clear, typical of the B1 narrative style. Complex sentences. After a while, the wise old owl watched from his tree and hooted softly, "Well done, bear. You are really making a difference." This sentence integrates direct speech and provides a causal connection, demonstrating a B1 level of complexity. 3. Interaction and dialogue, B1 level. The dialogue within the story reflects interactions typical of the B1 level, where the language is primarily used to express and exchange opinions and information on familiar topics. For example, expressions of feelings and plans. The bear nodded, understanding the problem now. Here, the bear's understanding is conveyed in a straightforward manner, suitable for B1. Direct conversation. "Hello, bear," he called out in a friendly voice. "We need to talk to you. It's important." The directness and clarity of the dialogue reflect B1's characteristic of handling direct exchanges about familiar subjects. 4. Narrative flow and coherence, B1 level. The narrative structure of the story is coherent and logically sequenced, which is indicative of B1 storytelling. It follows a clear chronological order, and the transitions between events are smooth, helping learners follow the story without difficulty. For instance, clear chronological transitions. The next morning, the sun rose brightly over the forest, filling it with warm light. Logical sequencing of events. The story progresses through a sequence of events that build upon each other, from the bear causing problems to learning to be more mindful, which helps B1 level learners to follow the plot easily. Here are 10 words and phrases from the story, explained with their meanings, examples from the story, and how they could be used in real life. 1. Careful. Meaning, taking care to avoid mistakes or accidents. Cautious. Story. Example, I am being careful today. Real life example, be careful when you cross the street. 2. Help. Meaning, make it easier or possible for someone to do something by offering services or resources. Story example, thank you for your help, bear. Real life example, can you help me carry these books? 3. Safe. Meaning, protected from or not exposed to danger or risk. Story. Example, look at my kits playing safely. Real life example, always wear a helmet to stay safe while biking. 4. Promise. Meaning, assure someone that one will definitely do, give or arrange something, undertake or declare that something will happen. Story example, I promise to be more careful. Real-life example, I promise to call you as soon as I arrive. 5. Friends. Meaning, people whom one knows and with whom one has a bond of mutual affection, typically exclusive of sexual or family relations. Story, example, I am glad to have friends like you. Real-life example, I'm going out to meet my friends for dinner. 6. Morning. Meaning, the period of time from sunrise to noon. Story. Example, good morning, bear. Real-life example, I always drink coffee in the morning. 7. Learn. Meaning, gain or acquire knowledge of or skill in something by study, experience, or being taught. Story example, yes, I learned a lot from all of you. Real life. Example, she is learning to play the piano. 8. Community. Meaning, a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Story example, the forest feels more like a real community. Real-life example, our community center holds events every weekend. 9. Happy. Meaning, feeling or showing pleasure or contentment. Story. Example, the animals felt happy and safe. Real-life example, I am happy when I spend time with my family. 10. Fix. Meaning, restore or repair something. Story. Example, I will fix our home. Real life. Example, I need to fix a leak in my kitchen sink. From the story, readers can learn several valuable lessons. 1. The importance of being considerate. The story teaches the importance of being aware of one's impact on others. The bear learns to be careful not to harm the smaller animals in the forest by being more attentive to where he steps and how he moves around. This lesson is crucial for children and adults alike, emphasizing that everyone, no matter how big or strong, should consider how their actions affect those around them. 2. The power of community and cooperation. As the bear and the other animals work together to create a safer environment, the story highlights how cooperation can achieve common goals and solve problems that seem insurmountable to individuals. The animals, despite their size differences and varying abilities, come together to help the bear understand the importance of his actions, and later to make their homes safer. This illustrates the power of teamwork and how collective efforts can lead to significant positive changes. 3. Redemption and personal growth. The bear's transformation from being careless to becoming a considerate member of the forest community teaches readers about the potential for personal growth and redemption. It shows that it's never too late to change one's behavior and make amends for past mistakes. The bear's willingness to listen, learn, and subsequently change his behavior serves as an inspiring example for readers that positive change is always possible. These lessons make the story not only entertaining, but also educational, providing moral teachings that can be applied in everyday life. This story and voiceover have been provided by English Made Easy, Learn Through Stories. Copying or re-uploading is strictly prohibited.